Welcome back to Speaking with Elvis Podcast. Again, this is a podcast where we share anything about communication, public speaking, leadership, and personal development just to make you the better version of yourself. So, now the topic of today is simply a reflection. We can call it a reflection on the mental problems that a lot of us go through in life. So, I want to make a disclaimer first at the beginning so that we are clear on where we are standing. I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor. Any capacity related to anybody with some accredited certificate or in the field of mental health or anything for that matter when it comes to health. But I just want us to go through a little bit of reflection on this particular subject of mental health in our society today. Quite frankly, we do understand that based on science, that there are a lot of reasons, many reasons that cause mental issues in our society today. And I just want to say that I've been reflecting on that thing for quite some time, and especially after I have come up with the concept of the power of your one thing, which is the book that I published a few months ago, I think about a year now, which I think the message of the book, which is the one thing, it's more important today than ever before. So when I'm reflecting on the mental problem, it's simply this. When I look around me, and by the way, you don't have to be an accredited scientist to be able to do some scientific experiment on your own. And science is simply what? You observe, you hypothesize, you bring out some theories about a situation, and then you conclude. You bring your own conclusion based on what you have observed and make some hypotheses, and you can conclude. Everybody can do that. But of course, scientists are the ones who actually go a little bit deeper into research, into scientific experiment. So I have observed around me, maybe based on my own journey and around me. While there are many reasons that somebody can really have a problem, kind of a mental issue, but there's also one reason that can contribute to that mental instability in us. And it's the fact of not knowing who we are and where we're going. So just think about it. So when you wake up in the morning, not knowing where you're going, not having a clear direction of your life. Yeah, you've been in a job for a while now, and it seems like we are just working for a living. I don't know if that alone can put us in the really good mindset or good mental health. Just working because we want to pay the bills. Just working because it is what we're supposed to do. Now, the lack of direction, the lack of clarity of direction in life can be the cause for some people where the trouble stopped for them. You see, when you are confused, when you are stuck, you don't know where to turn to. You don't know where to go. You don't know what's even ahead of you. You only live every day as it comes. Now, how would you explain that if you are in that situation, how life can be quite enjoyable, or life can be wonderful, or life can be really ecstatic? I mean, think about it. Again, this topic is just a reflection on where we stand when it comes to some reason of our mental instability. Because any of us, we go through some mental challenges by the degree. Because if you stress enough, for whatever reason, your life, relationship, or career, you are actually putting your mind into some level of instability because so much stress could lead to depression, right? And when you are in that state of depression, it's already a state of some mental instability. When you are so depressed, you're no longer in your right mind. So that's what I'm trying to reflect on. So when I came up with the concept of your one thing, which is the belief that every single one of us has something unique in us. If you are religious inclined, you better believe that God has put something unique in you, that you were designed for a reason, that you have come here for a particular purpose. And if it just on the scientific level, you only believe in scientific, understanding or path, just to think about the fact that you were chosen out of 300 million sperm cells to be you, there's got to be a reason for that, right? So, which means we are so unique. There is no replica of who we are in this life. That makes us absolutely unique. That unique ability is really what I call the one thing in us. But unfortunately, a lot of people do not discover it. Will live their entire life till their grave and never discover that unique thing about them. And that's how we go through life, just living day by day and task by task. And we live, and the time comes and we disappear from earth. But there is something about you, my friend, because I've come to truly believe that. I've observed that in myself, and I've seen that in people, because it's about observing the society, observing those around you, see how they function, see how they do things. So there is something magically unique about who you are. That is your one thing. Just imagine that once you discover that one thing, of course, there's an exercise about it. I put that clearly in my book and in some other videos that I've stated clearly how you can discover that one thing. So once you discover that one thing inside of you, you develop it. And I explain how you can develop it as well. To some cases, you can declare it and then deploy it. When you do all these things, you discover it, you develop it, you declare it, and you deploy it. You become so aligned with who you are. You become so locked into who you are. You become that which you were designed to become in this life. So just think about it, because that one thing is so magical that once you discover it, that's when your life begins. Because the purpose of that one thing is for your fulfillment. Because when you are aligned with the thing that's inside of you, you are fulfilled, really. So, which means the success in the material sense is only a byproduct of that fulfillment that your one thing actually provides. So, just imagine if everybody were to tap into their one thing. Because when you tap into it, believe me, life takes on a different meaning. You no longer see life as a day-to-day happenstance, the things that you just have to be, and the time passes, and you're just there, and the time passes. Now you become part of molding and fashioning this life and this world. That's what the one thing does. So when you are in that state, even your mindset start to change. You become a different person. You reason differently. You act differently. You function differently in a society. And you do it in the very meaningful way, purposeful way. And that is where we can even tap into this thing that we also seek, which is happiness. It's really magical. It's absolutely magical. Because now we have come to believe, based on what society has conventionally taught us, that maybe happiness would be in arriving somewhere. It's going somewhere. It's having something. It's arriving, attaining something. That's what society has told us or had taught us. That you need to pursue that thing. You get that new car. You get that new job. You get the promotion. You get new whatever, new partner. You will be happy. Now, many of us have been in that situation that we have gotten a new thing. We have gotten a promotion. We have gotten a new job. We have gotten a new partner. We've got a new car, whatever that is. But how long has that happiness last? How long did that happiness last? So that's the question, right? Because it's an ephemeral kind of thing that when it is called, I think the word is the ecstatic of novelty. That's just what it is. It's not happiness. Because if you you think about happiness, it's not even at the tip of the mountain. Happiness is really a continuous effort, so which means it's a pursuit. So which means when we are pursuing that one thing, we are actually in that pursuit of happiness. And when we are happy, there's not much room for confusion. There's not much room for stuckness because we know where we're going. We know why we're here. We know our contribution. That once we developed our one thing, our ultimate purpose is to deploy it. And deployment simply means that we contribute to the world. We use our one thing to be part of the fashioning and molding this world. I've always taken an example of the tree and saying that the purpose of the tree is to produce fruit. Look at all trees around you. I'm talking about natural trees. I'm not talking about the trees that a human has planted just for shade or whatever. I'm talking about the natural tree. All natural trees bear fruits. All natural trees. That's the purpose of the tree. And they will always do it year after year and season after season. Now, the most important thing to retain here is that the fruit is not for the tree. The fruit is for humans and animals. You see? So once you discover your one thing, develop it, declare it. The last phase is simply to deploy it. That means you have to put it at the service of others. That's how we are so aligned. That's how the fulfillment it's at the highest level when we deploy our one thing, the thing that we are so uniquely qualified to do or to be. We use it to be put at the service of others. So when you are in that state, how would your mind be in that unstable condition? Because you are clear about who you are. You are clear about where you're going. You're clear about what you need to contribute. It releases the tension that you have in your mind. Every day is no longer lived as though you are just accomplishing tasks. Every day is lived meaningfully. Like every day has a particular meaning, a particular purpose. It's about using that one thing in you to contribute to your daily life. The people you encounter, the things that you do, everything, the way that you live becomes meaningful. So that's how, when you think about that one thing, it's really a place that we can actually stand in order to correct something in our mind. So when we tap into that one thing, that we tap into the one thing that is ours, our unique ability, our unique strength, our unique talent, the one thing that God had put in us, if you are religious inclined, we align with it. Our life is so much better and easier. I feel that because I'm in that stage. I'm in that stage that I truly believe that my one thing is simply to help other people find the one thing. You see? My purpose is to help other people find their purpose. How wonderful is that? How amazing is that? I find joy, energy in doing just that. I mean, some of you who probably have come to know me physically, that the moment that I start to tap into this teaching mode or sharing mode or training mode, the energy that is oozing out of me is unstoppable. It's really unfathomable because it's my one thing. It's what makes sense to me when I'm tapping into it. So just imagine if you were to do that too, and the next person to do that too, and the next person to tap into the one thing. Not just doing things because we see other people doing, not just chasing what's really hot or maybe what's shining, but tapping into that which is truly yours. Just imagine the level of joy, the level of happiness that we exude in our space, in our environment, and we influence those around us. How our society collectively can be in that space where we can live joyfully and peacefully among each other because every single one of us is actually walking on their lane. Just imagine, just think about it, just It's just a reflection on this thing, right? If everybody were to do that, young kids who at the beginning, at the onset of their life, already discover where they're going, some of the ills of our society will be reduced because you know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do here, your contribution. And every day is a striving to do just that. Where would you have time to even think of anything nefarious, right? Or to go burglar a place, or to go harm somebody, because there is no time for it. You are in that space of exuberance, of joy. There is no space for anything that is as negative as wanting to hurt somebody. Just imagine, we will have a little bit healthier society. So, which means it's a redefinition of what success really means for us. I find so much joy when I'm in that space, when I'm sharing, when I'm tapping into my one thing. I'm a different animal. The energy that comes out of me, it's something unmatched. And it's only in that time that I do it. Because if I'm actually involved in other activity, I would not exude this level of energy or this level of enthusiasm. Just imagine everybody tapping into the one thing could be in that space. We will have a healthier society at large. I think so. That's just my thought. At least I have observed in my life. When I observe some people who are probably doing their one thing, tapping into their one thing, they don't have time for anything that is not aligned with that one thing. So everything that they do in life is the reflection, is function of that one thing. How would you be depressed when you know clearly your path in life? When you know you, when you know what you're supposed to do, what you know your contribution in this world. Yes, everyday life can provide a little bit of stress, but not to the point that you become depressed or maybe have some mental trouble because things are confused. There's no clarity in your life. But the contrary of that, you become clear who you are. You become very focused on where you're going. Life takes on a different meaning. And that's how we can mentally recalibrate ourselves a little bit on an individual level. On an individual level. All my thing is try that thing about the one thing. Try to tap into it. Consider the possibility that there's something so unique about you. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter you just starting out in life. It doesn't matter you are actually reaching the end of your life. The most important is to live that moment that you are fully aligned with who you are. That's the most important thing, because life is lived the moment we live it. It's not in our past. Even if we have like 99 years now, we can still function mentally or to some level of clarity. Life is lived the moment that we are living it. It's the present, not the past, not even the future, but now. So the moment that you realize that one thing about you, you are so aligned with it, that's when your life takes a different meaning. It takes on a different purpose. You become a different human being. You assume a different identity. You become the vanguard of greatness in this world. You become something completely different. And that's just the reflection that I want to bring on this podcast, to just think about those things. To go back to mentioning that there are many reasons why we do have problem mentally. And, you know, there are many reasons, so many reasons, in fact. But one way that I think we can recalibrate ourselves, at least we can protect that side of our mental instability, is to reconnect with who we really are within and tap into that one thing. That is the thing that we were meant to actually do or be or have in this world. And that's how we can recalibrate our mental health, mental performance. So that's just a reflection in this episode, just rambling. Sometimes that's what it takes, just to ramble and just to look around us and reflect on things that are affecting our life and maybe come up with a solution or maybe decipher the problem and come up with the potential solution. That's just what this episode is. Just rambling, reflecting, and thinking about some of the problem that we go through in life, particularly a mental problem. And for me, which I think that aligning with oneself can help somewhere, not everywhere, but just somewhere mentally. So think about it. Again, thank you so much for tuning in with the Speaking with Elvis podcast. Again, if you have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel or any other platform that you are viewing or you are listening from, so just subscribe and connect with us, like and feedback, whatever that is. That will really makes us perfect, and not perfect, but improve to bring more insight, just an insight that can guide us into our own journey in this life. We are trying to figure it out. And thank you again for your time. Next time on Speaking with Elvis podcast. Thank you.